Hi, my name is Rod. I'm with Nextlar Security. Thank you for the opportunity. On this video, I'm going to respond some of the questions that you have and hopefully answer all the questions and concerns. So the first question is, how many HOAs do you currently service? So Nextlar Security, we service quite a bit, but I want to give you the scope of work, what we have done. We have many apartment complexes. We also have worked with many HOAs. Your HOA is a little bit different. It's more like one of our apartment complexes because because of the access points and how the systems to be done. Uh, One project that I'm going to show you that I'm going to give as a reference, the name is TDI. They have the largest homeowners association they have the largest apartment complex in the Houston area. It's over 1,500 doors, I believe. Those numbers might be wrong, but it's between 1,000 to 1,500. It's quite large. This project we did, I believe, was on 2017. By the way, we wrote this software for our company to keep track of our projects. I'm going to do a quick search here. One thing to note, you can see we have about 4 service calls, and you got to keep in mind that even though they only have 4 for the size of the property, they're constantly making maintenance, changing roofs and changing things that affect our cameras, so you have very little service calls compared to the size of the project. So this is the project. As you can see, the yellow arrows are the cameras, EQ are the access points. So all this is communicating wireless. So it's almost like a small city. And we have been working with them for about 3 years. They're very happy with our service. As a matter of fact, we just did another project for them for their new warehouse. So just so you can understand the scope of what we do. So are the HOA's clients willing to provide reference? Absolutely, they are. Matter of fact, not only HOAs, we also work with Housing Authority. We do the Baytown Housing Authority, all their locations. And right now, we're just doing the Bay City Housing Authority. And the Baytown, we have been doing them for 3 years. They're very happy with our services as well. We did their access control and camera system. In matter of fact, we do so many HOAs that we develop a system just for HOAs and property management companies and for apartment complex. It's an access control system integrated with license plate recognition. I'll send you the link for that. What challenges do you experience with HOAs and what do you do to overcome? We rarely experience challenges with HOAs. The majority of the challenges that we experience is related to like in the past, we had an HOA requesting us to install internet connection at one of the members' house, and it was very challenging getting into their house because we could only work when they're there, and they're never there during business hours. So what we did, we redid the entire system and put everything on the outside where we didn't rely on that member to be able to access the system. What differentiates from other security competitors is related to servicing West End and Galveston HOA. Well, first we have our lead technician lives very close to your area, about 25 minutes away. And I have an apartment in Galveston, so I'm constantly in Galveston. That's a benefit. As a matter of fact, I went to your property about 3 times already. And I'm always in Galveston. This week already, I was in Galveston on Tuesday, and I'm going to be in Galveston again on Friday. And I was there Sunday too. So what differentiates yours? Okay, do you remotely monitor to ensure all cameras are operating 24/7? We build a special type of software that keeps track of the IP addresses of the camera. So in the event the camera stopped working, the system notifies us. Also, our cameras have health check. So if in the event there is a hard drive failure or communication failure, we will receive a task message that the cameras are not working. Does your proposal rely on ground-based or a wireless internet connection? Right now, my proposal, we're relying upon internet connection for 4G from either AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile, whatever works best in your area. In the event of power outage, how long your cameras continue to operate? That really varies. We have a small power backup, not designed to maintain the cameras for hours. It's just for a short period of time so everything can shut down without damaging the equipment. When you initially start having the conversation with Joe Ryan, he said you have battery backup, but you have a simple UPS. There's a big difference between a small power backup and a power backup for days. The cost is pretty high for us to do a power backup for days. I actually send a quotation. Usually when you do a power backup for days, you're going to rely on batteries, you're going to have inverters, and you have to have a larger system. And the cost can be much higher. You also have to have special boxes to support all that. Can a recording be saved and transmitted easily to law enforcement if necessary? Yes, very easy. You can have access using your cell phone, download the images from your cell phone as I showed Joe Ryan before. Also, who can perform the task? Anyone that have access to the system can perform this task. What type of training is required to record? 5 minutes training. It's very, very simple to operate this system. And just like I'm making the video for you right now, I can easily make a standard operating procedure on what the steps to be taken for troubleshooting or for recording or whatever is necessary for you guys. I can make it very simple. Is software cloud-based or has to be hosted locally? The way we're estimating everything is hosted locally. So all the recordings are on a DVR or on an NVR. Those cameras have the capacity for you to install a chip and do edge recording, so you're recording at the camera. The cameras also have the capacity to do VCA, which is called Video Content Analytics. With that, you're able to send video clips through an email, but we have to be very careful because we have limited bandwidth. To give an idea, in 1 megapixel, you have 8 megapixel cameras. Well, I'm going to make it 1 to make it simple. A 1 megapixel camera has 1 megabyte per second. If you have a 4G signal, usually a 4G is going to have a 1 megabyte per second. So if one camera would consume almost the entire bandwidth. Can restrictions be set up for what a user location view access to view? Yes, absolutely. You can have restrictions on the user's password restrictions. You can have what cameras they access, what they're allowed to view. So yes, you can actually have a security guard watching a few cameras and not being able to play back any. So yeah, there are multi-level access permissions. How will camera upgrades and replacement be handled? Really depends. You just give us a call, schedule an upgrade. Usually software upgrades, we do it for free. Every now and then, every year or so, there's a software release and we can easily do that. Upgrade completely free. As far as replacement, it depends on the plan that you select. You would have to fill it up a service ticket on our website, and then we'll schedule the replacement. Is your maintenance plan for us to be outsourced by a third party or handled by our company? We don't use third parties. Maintenance response time. The maintenance response time truly depends how busy we are. We guarantee if you are under our maintenance contracts, we guarantee a 36 hours response. Monthly maintenance pro option. So I already submitted the monthly maintenance options on our estimate. So you can read that there's 3 options. The packs, actually let's go over that right now. We have 3 maintenance options and I'll go over with them shortly. Let me just pull it up. Give me 1 second. I will go over them on the meeting. Can we add cameras to the grid and what the cost? Well, that really depends. So I'm going to give you an example here. to show you the variables. So let's say that you want to add an extra camera right here, right, to the pole. The cost is just going to be the cost of the camera, maybe 2 or 3 hours of labor. Let's say that you want to add a camera right here where we're going to need to add a pole, a box, access points. The cost would be much, much higher because the amount of labor involved would take probably about 1 to 2 days. Wireless access points, PoE switch, DIMM enclosure box, and pole, concreting the pole and doing the connections. So it'd be quite a bit more intensive. So of course I would have to do an estimate for that. Can we have camera locations that are completely solar power? Yes, absolutely. I actually send you estimates for solar power cameras, but I don't recommend. There are some issues with solar. You're by the water, so salinity level is pretty high. The equipment's not going to last a long time. Usually the batteries to sustain the system, they last about 2 to 3 years, so you have to be constantly maintaining those batteries. So I think the cost of maintenance, the cost of repair and replacement, I don't think it's worth. I don't think you have that many power failures to make business sense to install that type of solar power system. How many people can view the cameras at one time? Well, that truly depends. It depends on the bandwidth. The system allows you to view thousands of people at the same time, but the limiting factor is going to be the bandwidth of the internet connection. If you're using Comcast and have fiber, you could have 5, 10 viewing at the same time. But because we're using 4G, I would probably limit to 1 or 2 maximum. Maybe 2 I think would be the limit. Next question. Can anyone with viewing rights be able to replay? Yes. How many people can replay at the same time? Same thing as view. It really depends upon the bandwidth. You can have as many people viewing at the same time as you want to, as long as the bandwidth of the internet permits. How much time is offered to start up? So once we're done with the installation, the technician is going to schedule time. He's going to show you how the system works, show you the installation, and usually the training is about 2 hours. That's what we usually allocate the time. But our company is very unique. It's just like I'm making this video for you, answering the questions. I can make a video, training video that you can use anytime that you want to. So training is really not necessary for us to be there. We can easily show you how to operate the system. We can also design a standard operating procedure which allows you to do basic troubleshooting and how people should be able to view, playback, remote playback, giving remote access, and how to view on the phone and other videos for you. Already answered the question. What's the contract period? There is no contract. If you select to go for a leasing option, the leasing option you have 36, 48, or 60 months. So that's going to be the contract period, but that's going to be through a third party. Our contract, we like to have no contract even on our maintenance plans, because I like you to be free. If you're unhappy with our service, you can move to anybody else. Very simple. We like it to be simple. What's the useful lifespan of a camera and equipment? So the useful lifespan of any security cameras is usually between 5 to 6 years. All warranty for the cameras are 3 years of warranty, but the lifespan between, I would say, 5 to 7 years. What's the period of the contract period ends? We talked about that already. How long will security camera footage be retained on the hard drive? So I'm putting about 80 terabyte of storage, so you have a lot of storage. I would say between 30 to 60 days, but the variables are going to be based upon how we set up the configuration of recording. There are thousands of ways that we can configure the recording time. We can set up on a motion 24/7, also frame rate. So if I'm recording 30 frame rates, which is really not necessary, that's gonna require a lot of space. If I'm recording at 8 megapixels, let's say that I decrease it to 15 frame rates and 4 megapixels, that's going to double my recording time. So just to give an idea, I'm shooting for about 30 days to 60 days of recording. Is there any equipment that can be saved and used for your new security plan? Absolutely not. The installation was done very poorly, and I'll show it to you what I have seen so far. So here is Cove Lane and Stewart Road. That's the access point. It's installed on that pole. You got the box installed right here. The camera is installed on a piece of conduit that is $10 or $3 to $10, rigid conduit, and it's only, I said 7 feet high. I think this is like 5 to 6 feet high. It's easily reachable, and I don't even think it's concrete in. The second location, same thing, Pirates Beach. Look at this pole. It looks horrible. It also degrades the value of your property. Uh, I do truly recommend installing a good pole that looks nice. This location again, oh, by the way, all those boxes that I went over, they were all open with water, all damaged. So never take the risk of reusing the equipment, not knowing if the equipment is going to work or not. I would have to test it. But again, I wouldn't recommend you using at all. I would like to stay away from that. Second location, conduit, not a pole. The cameras are mounted here, very low. The pole is corroded. That's the location where all the equipment is installed. No padlock, and very easy to open the box. And every time that I went out there, every time that I opened those boxes, there were water inside, so there's not sealed tight water. So the equipment's definitely damaged. Same thing here. Again, this is close to St. Louis Pass, not a pole, degrades property value, looks really bad. So let's look at the last question. Do you offer leasing options? Yes, I do offer leasing options. The advantages of a leasing option is because you can pay in a monthly payment. The disadvantages, the cost is kind of high on the monthly basis. Now, I want to go over the installation. So here's the installation map, and I'm going to send this document for you. My plan is to pull the pole to the front of the front, closer to Stewart Lane, to Stewart Road, so you're able to see the cars and also the license plate of those cars, and make a nice looking pole. So it looks nice. It looks like that you have security. Also, one recommendation, I think I spoke with Joe Ryan, he didn't like that idea, but I'm having a great success with strobe police lights, so lights that looks like police and really gives a sense of security. I'm seeing more and more people using it. For one of my clients are having 3 to 5 break-ins every quarter, and since we installed a year ago, we had 0 break-ins. So I would highly recommend. It's not a big expense. If you choose us, I'll give you 4 for free. So again, we're moving all the poles to the front, and that's on the back of the property. In the front of the property, same thing. We move the pole a little bit to the front, looking to the street, and a nice looking pole. Again, thanks for watching this presentation. My name is Rod Lima. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me at 281-409-9572. My email is rod@nextlar.com. Thank you.